I was gonna ask for a raise.
Good back where we can build.
My check. My check. My check.
Oh, the dog.
Yeah.
You got a dog?
Oh, yeah.
I've seen you were in Chicago, baby. Wow. That's why I'm saying it. That's why I know it's.
Yeah, she tells me what he wants, right? Just like your.
Yeah, I got a big old,
My check.
that dog. Very demanding.
Bosses you around.
They look good.
Bosses you around. Do you tell him to buy it back to you?
My check.
I do too.
Yeah.
You still follow me,
I
do,
You watch it.
but I'm not paying.
Two big golden eyes.
They
Be back in a few minutes.
Uh-huh.
Placement.
Wants to go, daddy.
Yeah, start talking to me.
Uh-huh.
My check.
Okay, well.
My check.
I have been in years. By myself. I said, go watch it too.
My check.
Yeah. And when I have to get up in the middle of the
My
night.
check.
My dog, I don't put my dog in the bed. You let your dog in the bed.
Yeah,
Force
she's
me.
fine. Yeah.
But after I got this German Shepherd, she's so big.
Uh-huh.
Because I know you're not in my bed. I won't get in your bed, you won't get in my bed. Hey, say, cuz,
How you doing, Doug?
how you doing?
I've been better.
Yeah.
My check.
Father,
who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, power, and glory, forever. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
All right, Madam Clerk, will you call the roll, please?
Dr. Miller, Mr. Messina,
present.
Mr. St. Columbia, Mr. Etherly,
Yeah.
Ms. Davis, and Ms. Maxine Miller will not be with us this evening.
Thanks, here.
On that.
So,
This right here.
now that the roll has been called, Madam Clerk, do we have the minutes, ready for today?
No, I don't know what to put in there, so we'll get them next time.
So minutes for our two meetings in December and the last one, final one from November will be put into the first packet of January. First packet of January. We'll jump into our first order of new business, which will be Mr. Ryan Bowman with ANRC Bond Counsel. He's going to come up and do a presentation for us on what the agreement is between the city's water department and ANRC for the water line improvement project.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. I believe that you have an ordinance in your agenda packet in connection with the proposed issuance of a bond to be secured by your water and sewer revenues. I know this is a project that the city has been discussing for a very long period of time. We are now at the process to begin the process of issuing debt, again, secured by your water and sewer revenues to finance water improvements here in the city. This first bond is in the principal amount of $1 million to help with the planning and design phase of the water improvements. So this money will be used to work with your engineering firm to begin the engineering and other preliminary work to come up with the improvements that are needed here in the city. As I mentioned, the bond is in the principal amount of $1 million. It has a 3% interest rate with a 1% servicing fee. So the overall lending rate to the city is 4%. And as required by state law, back in May, you actually had a public hearing in connection with this bond issue. So you met that requirement at your May city council meeting. Again, $1 million bond issue. This is a drawdown loan. So advances are made as the city needs to incur costs of the planning and design phase of the water improvements. You are only paying interest to the extent that you are making draws under this bond issue. The advances will go into a construction fund. Actually, the process is there is a disbursement request that is prepared by your engineer. It is signed by the mayor. It is submitted to the Arkansas Natural Resources Commission. The Arkansas Natural Resources Commission will then make the payment into a construction fund that is going to be held by Regions Bank on behalf of the city. Then there is a requisition along with an invoice that is submitted to Regions Bank, and that requisition will be signed by the mayor. And then the trustee or the Regions Bank, the escrow agent in this case, will make the payment from the construction fund to the third party. So again, you're only paying interest to the extent that advances are made under the bond issue. This is really just interim financing. It allows you to get the project started. You will pay interest only on the bond through October 1 of 2027. You will then pay principal and interest starting in December of 2027 through October of 2047. But again, because this is just interim financing, we anticipate within the next year or so, we would come back with a much larger bond issue to pay off this interim financing and then finance the remainder of your water improvements. So that's a kind of a quick summary of the bond structure. Let me stop here and answer any questions that you might have.
My main interest is about this money. How about the bids? When the project bids for the beginning and starting, who's gonna approve those bids?
I'm going to defer to your engineer. And he
Okay.
might be able to walk you through some of the specifics with respect to the bidding.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. St. Columbia, are you asking about construction bids?
Yes,
They'll have to be bid according to the state, not procurement rules, the state bidding
Right.
laws. They'll
okay.
be advertised.
And when they come in, the bids come in, who's gonna approve those bids?
We will actually make an award recommendation to the council, and the council
Okay.
would approve the individual bids to the contractors.
Okay,
But there'll be the lowest and best bid. We will tabulate all the bids.
so that's
We will-
where it all begins.
Yep, that's where the construction begins. Yes,
Right.
sir.
Right.
That's right. And then the lowest and best bidder is recommended by me and accepted
It'll be
by
brought
the council.
before us
Yes, sir.
for approval.
Once it is, then we have a standard EJCDC construction document that will be signed
Okay,
by the contractor and the mayor, and that's what obligates
okay.
the
And
tip.
then after the job is done, after that bid is completed, then the receipt will be sent to the state, is that right?
Well, generally on construction, they don't go all the way through the end. There's
Okay.
normally monthly draws by the contractor.
Okay.
They have to get the work that they've completed, and they generally turn that in, no, more often than a monthly. I've seen some go a couple months, but normally a monthly. We will submit a pay application, a intermediate pay application that will include what we are certifying the contractor has completed. And that pay application will be signed by me, the contractor, and then again, the mayor.
And the mayor also. Okay.
Yes.
That answers my question.
Yes, sir.
Mr. St. Columbia, in addition, this bond that you're doing now is simply for the preliminary things that Mr. Wyland is doing.
Okay,
When the construction comes in, you will be dealing with licensed and bonded professionals
Okay.
who has to give bonds to make sure that they have that capacity to do the job.
okay.
And so there are many safeguards and rails that are within the financing that allows
You see
the,
where my concern is? Where
yes.
that money's gonna be allocated.
Yes, but I think your concern is while your concern is a legitimate concern, I think the thing about it is, but the nature of a bond prevents some of the things that
Okay.
you are speculating may occur.
And this is really just the initial step, as I said. This is the initial step of the process. And so the plan is to come back, once you've spent this $1 million on the planning and design phase, we would come back with permanent financing to pay off this, to roll it into permanent financing, and then to finance the remaining costs of the water project.
Okay, thank you.
But this is through the state agency, the Arkansas Natural Resources Commission. I know you all have talked about that in prior meetings. The Arkansas Development Finance Authority is actually the purchaser, but the Natural Resources Commission is the one that oversees the project with the city.
Good.
Madam Clerk, what's the ordinance number?
11,
11/2025.
yes, sir.
That's ordinance number.
11,
11.
2025.
Be glad to answer any additional questions that you might have. I know in prior meetings and in talking with Ms. Ramsey, Mr. Valley, I know that you often vote to suspend the rules and read the ordinance by title only. And if that would be your preference, I believe now would be a time to entertain a motion to do that.
Okay.
So the motion on the floor is to suspend the rule ordinance number 11/2025. Suspend the rules, placed on third and final reading the title only, which is an ordinance authorizing the issuance of water and sewer revenue bonds for the purpose of financing a portion of the cost and planning design phase of the construction of the betterments and improvements of the water facility for the city of Helena-West, Arkansas, providing for the payment of principal of and interest on the bond, confirming the existing water and sewer rates, and prescribing other matters. Is there a second?
A second.
Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Mr. Etherly,
Yes.
Mr. Messina,
Yes.
Dr. Miller, Mr. St. Columbia.
Yes.
Four present, yes.
Motion passes.
This is an ordinance authorizing the issuance of a water and sewer revenue bond for the purpose of financing a portion of the cost of the planning and design phase of the construction of betterments and improvements to the water facilities of the city of Helena, West Helena, Arkansas, providing for the payment of the principal of and interest on the bond, confirming existing water and sewer rates, and prescribing other matters relating thereto.
Move to adopt.
Is there a second? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Messina,
Yes.
Mr. St. Columbia.
Yes.
Dr. Miller, Mr. Etherly,
Yes.
four yes.
Motion passes.
Mr. Bowman, is there an emergency clause?
There is not an emergency clause. We will get the ordinance published in the paper hopefully next week. Assuming that everything goes as planned, we are planning to close on the financing on February the 4th. That's when the money would be available for the city to begin the planning and design phase of your water improvements. So we'll be working with the Arkansas Natural Resources, but currently that is the plan for closing. Okay, anything else for me? Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bowman. Thank you.
That takes care of that.
All right. Our next order of business for this evening. Do we have a representative from the Magnolia Cemetery today? I don't think so, so we can move along. The third point of business for this evening is the Street and Sanitation Department. This is, this entry or this point of business is twofold: to talk about a combined role between the Street and Sanitation Department, and to also introduce the potential new director for the street, what would be considered the Street and Sanitation Department. So in your city packets, at the very front, this is a sample resolution to combine the two departments. And I'll pause there because I was informed by the city attorney that this is really an issue of base pay ordinance as well. In an effort to combine the street and sanitation departments, we're looking to, this would save us $153,000. We would not have two separate department heads for street and one for sanitation. And as well, there is one foreman position that we will be able to absolve, and that's where that $153,000 comes in, those three positions in particular. By suggesting a salary of $75,000 that basically allows this individual to take ownership of both roles for street and sanitation, we not only cut the payroll in half for those roles, but also are able to get a qualified individual to do that. So the first order of business on this topic would be to entertain a motion to change the base pay ordinance that would allow for that to happen.
What is the combined base pay? You're combining the positions, right?
50. So both directors for street and sanitation are set at 55.
How much?
55,000.
Yes.
I think, under the, I'm making a distinction between old and new base pay. Under the old base pay ordinance, these departments were already, I don't want to say they were combined, but they had one head, and that was the Public Works Director.
Right.
And that person was in charge of both departments. So while we didn't say they were combined, they didn't have you didn't have a separate sanitation department head and a separate street department head. In the last ordinance, that separation may have occurred, but that ordinance was declared void. And so we fall back to the original, which you have a Public Works Director who was supposed to manage the street and sanitation as one department.
And I think landfill was part of that as well. but that-
Landfill was part of that as well. All those were part. So I may be jumping the discussion, but I looked at the proposed budget. And the first thing that jumped out to me is that the proposed budget needs to be refined so that it lines up with the current base pay ordinance that we operate under. And then any changes would have to then flow from there. In other words, we already have a system in place, and I understand it needs to be cleaned up because we have positions that
at one point existed, then it didn't exist anymore, and so as a matter of housekeeping, it's a mess right now. So all of those things need to harmonize together, because the proposed budget doesn't match up with the base pay order.
But for the public's sake, there is a ordinance that says as a Department of Public Works. There was a department head, and there were 3 divisions. We had street, sanitation, and landfill. Each of those directors made 55,000. And then below them, you had foremen. As it relates to the base pay, the reason why we're being very specific about base pay, because in a lawsuit involving Greg Williams versus former Mayor Franklin, base pay was brought before, and the court wanted the city to pass ordinances to amend base pay and et cetera. Currently, we have a resolution in the packet. But base pay is where the city designates, these are the positions the city has. And then there's a funding mechanism separate from it to show what the positions are. And the mayor has declared his intent that what he wants is you to merge 2 positions, but we're going to have to do it in the base pay so it's clear. What I told the mayor directly before the meeting was city council is always very hesitant about changing base pay without seeing the base pay itself. Every time we've done this, you come back and say, I want to see the base pay itself to see what it says. And so we don't have a base pay right now to show what it is it's saying. But what he's declared tonight is that he is declaring that he wants a position voided for foreman, and the 2 other positions, the director for street and director for sanitation, merged. Is that an accurate statement, man?
Yeah, yes. And so again, the benefit of this, the benefit of it is it's cost efficient. Instead of paying for 2 directors, we're able to get 1 director. And the salaries that we would pay out under 2 directors and an additional foreman would be 153,000.
Which was way too much.
And so by getting the gentleman that he's here this evening, and we're going to introduce him soon, he's highly qualified, and I do believe that combining those 2 salaries to make 75 would compensate him for the task that he's doing, but also at the same time save us money in the long run.
Like, who's gonna be in charge? I mean, street and sanitation, who's gonna be over those?
So the potential director that would emerge from this joint position.
Person.
I know, but
Yeah.
we hadn't picked one yet, had we?
Well, he's here tonight. Or do you want to hear from him?
Well, who is?
Mr. Wash Sellers, do you want to come up and introduce yourself, Mr. Sellers? There's also a resume in your packet as well. There's a resume at the very back of your packet. But you can just give us a little bit of information about who you are, Mr. Sellers, and your.
Let's pause for a second. But that's what just reminded me, I was listening to you and I was reading this also. We probably shouldn't hear from Mr. Wash Sellers unless you're going to executive session to hear from him, because he hasn't been hired yet. You can go in executive session, discuss hiring, firing, promotion, and motion. But since this is clearly hiring, at some point y'all have to go to executive session tonight to hear from him outside the public. We can do that later in the agenda, but I'm just saying as far as him talking now, because you're looking at hiring, you need to be in the executive session to discuss that. You can hear from him tonight, but I'm just saying we'd have to go in the executive session to hear from him. You probably ought to move it to the end of the agenda so you can hear from him and ask him whatever question you want to ask.
That's correct.
So can the questions be sustained for now?
Yeah, there had to be a motion to go into executive session, and then a second.
Right.
To discuss the hiring issue, so.
It won't. The agenda doesn't seem like it's long. And so I was saying is you're only putting them at the end of the meeting so you can go into executive session and talk candidly and ask them whatever question you're going to ask. It shouldn't be done in an open meeting is what I'm saying. It has to be closed for you all to ask whatever you want to ask.
Is executive session at the end of the meeting what we would want to do?
Do what?
Is executive session at the end of the meeting?
If we're gonna discuss, pay, we need to be in executive session, but I'm gonna tell you.
It didn't pay at the hiring.
That's the hire.
Yeah,
The hire.
we'll talk about an executive session if that's what you wanna do.
Okay.
I move it, we go to executive session and discuss, that's what we have to do.
Okay, we'll do that at the end of, we can make that the last item of the agenda. We'll do executive session.
You wanna cover some of this other stuff before we go into executive session?
Yes, sir, because y'all may be a while.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, 'cause that'll go into a big discussion.
Yes, sir.
So
So
Along with,
we'll
let's hear something else.
we'll suspend business order 3 for now. And Ms. Phyllis Hammond with the MLK Parade, you may come up if you were present. There she is.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays.
To the Honorable Mayor, Whitfield, and City Council members. I'm representing the core committee of the MLK Junior Parade. Our theme basically is creating a beloved community of unity, peace, and love. We had a Zoom meeting on last Thursday. And it was a very productive meeting. And Mayor, I sent Ms. Ford a copy of the summary of that meeting. I just want to tell you a little bit about what we're doing and that we will need $1,500. I've received $1,500 from AP Commission. And we will need additional $1,500 after we discuss the things that we want to make this an exciting event. And as you well know, things cost money nowadays. But I do thank you for your support. We have a co-chair who is Jimmy Sanders. He's the executive director of the Mid-Delta Community Services. We have co-chairs that head various committees on our for the parade. We have individuals from the West Side Community Hub, Mid-Delta, Eliza Miller alum, and the Delta Cultural Center, and volunteers from the community. We have some things that we have not quite settled on. We're probably going to clean up the theme a little bit more. I've been working with Lord have mercy, I'm having a senior moment with Candace. She's gonna kill me. Dolls, who is the youth. She is, she has done a tremendous job at the Delta Cultural Center with youth activities. And so we're working with her in order to create a program which will be for adults and children on Dr. King's beloved community, how to create a beloved community that will follow the parade. We're in the process of now soliciting individual or recruiting individuals to participate in the parade. I've even gone as far as contacting people from Little Rock who were former residents of Phillips County or Helena, West Helena, and trying to get them to be a part of this event. Our chief of staff will serve as an announcer with Gracelyn Brown, who is at Mid-Delta. And we want to have it sort of like a Macy kind of an event. And Honorable Mayor, we would love for you and your lovely wife to be grand marshals of the parade, along with the Leon and Virgie Phillips, who have been dedicated citizens of Phillips County and who have done a tremendous job in promoting this county throughout the United States of America. And Mr. Phillips was the former superintendent of Lakeview Schools. So they will share those positions. We want to get the route we're still working on. We have to meet with the police and fire department. But what we're looking at is having the mayor and the grand marshals to leave from Eliza Miller and come through the first responders to come through West Helena, so we can seem like we are a joint community. Because sometimes I'm thinking that we still are West Helena and Helena, and some people have that concept in their brain. So we want it to seem as if we are working together. And so next time we have you have a meeting, then we will have that route refined. We will have what's wonderful, I'd like to share with you. There was a children's book called Beloved, and it was on the Martin Luther King Center for Social Change. And I thought, I don't have enough money to buy the children a book. So Mr. Sanders agreed for Mid-Delta to buy at least 100 copies. And we're going to have, probably at the program, have people distributed there to one book per family. We're hoping that we will have more than 100, but if there's more than 100, we might be able to order some later on. But I was really happy about that because children's books cost money. And these books, quality children's books, cost money. That's the teacher in me speaking out. So we want to invite as many people as possible to participate. We're working on, as I indicated, the route, as well as we want all of you to be a part of that endeavor as well. So that's kind of like a brief update of where we are now. We're going to meet again the week after the holidays, and at the Mid-Delta office at 2:00. If any of you would be interested in coming and sharing your ideas and want to volunteer in any way, come to that event. We'll put it on Facebook. And I'm looking at my notes, so I won't talk too long. But I do hope that, I just want you to know we're working, and we have a short length of time, but we're going to get there, and hopefully you'll be very proud of the results. Do you have any questions?
Any questions?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Thank you, Ms. Hammonds. All right, moving right along. I don't believe that we have Ms. Gardner or Mr. Rose here today. And so the landfill community assistance grant update, this is a chance to just update you all that the landfill did not get the grant. That grant was very competitive, and then we got the news earlier, a couple of days ago. It is a great news, though, that in the meantime, Tammy and Mr. Wilson have been able to get mats that are basically able to convert that road to be drivable in severe weather conditions. So we do have a temporary fix, but we will continue to look for a more permanent fix in the short term. So desperately just wanted to give you all that update.
That was the one that was for the road.
Yeah, correct.
Mhm.
Hospital.
Oh, thank you. Before executive session, we do have this isn't on the agenda, but we have two representatives from the hospital that wanted to come up as well to make a brief presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and City Councilman.
Good evening.
We still, we came several months ago and the council approved a lease for the hospital for 40 years. We didn't have a dollar amount attached to it. We've had a few things come up since then and made some changes. We've changed it to a 25-year lease, we're fine with that. The dollar amount was still $100 per year, but we're hoping to receive some new market tax credits. That's what the urgency to get this lease done by the end of the year. So that's when the money comes in and we want to have our application done so we can be a part of the funding. But the city attorney brought to our attention there was some litigation they had planned on using the money from Progressive when Progressive was running the hospital. If they sold the hospital, taking $168,000 of that, using to pay the county for what's owed from housing the inmates. And so we thought we would put something in here that if we receive the new market tax credit, then we could provide the $168,000 as a form of maybe a lease payment, one-time payment to the city to pay off, that debt. That's the biggest change in here.
There was a change of adding, if there was going to be,
any subletting, that it would have to be with written approval, but we've modified that if there's a total of 125,000 square feet, if there was less than 30% of the total square footage, the entity would be able to sublet that. If there was going to be like a third-party sleep study or somebody else that could add that. And then we added language. Of course, there would be insurance with a threshold of 250,000 up to $1 million coverage after discussions with the city attorney. City attorney, is there anything you think we've overlooked?
No, that covers all the discussions we had. We met about an hour this afternoon, just trying to go through it. We're trying to get it finalized. Y'all like give them tacit approval, but we want to make sure we lay it out. And for the public's sake, someone was like, why don't we just give it to them? There's currently a settlement agreement that's in the Circuit Court of Phillips County, where the city has agreed that when we sell the hospital, the city would pay $168,000. And the issue that we don't want to happen is the city be held in contempt of court by just leasing it for nothing. And then the county is still upset. Now, the mayor has an update, and I have an update related to the county and the county judge and his conversations we've had over the past 2 weeks about the jail. We'll discuss that in a minute, but the issue is that we don't want to hold the hospital hostage, but at the same time, we cannot just lease it without making some kind of concession related to $168,000.
So what do you need from us tonight?
Approve the agreement with those amendments?
Approval?
Yes, with the updates. You gave the approval that you're gonna do it, then you said, come back with the other
Okay.
part. We've discussed it, and now we're here for you to finalize the lease agreement.
Okay. So we need a motion to
Approve the
approve.
lease agreement as he stated with those amendments.
You're saying yes, he's saying no.
No, we both said yes. We
Huh?
motion to approve the lease
Yeah.
agreement with the amendments.
So I'll make the motion that we approve it.
I'll say.
Second. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll?
Yes.
Wake up.
Mr. Etherly,
Yes.
Mr. St. Columbia,
Yes.
Dr. Miller.
Yes.
4 yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
City attorney, there's a typo in here on
That's fine.
some
I
dates.
saw it. And,
I'll send that to you.
right, they send it to me and we send it to the mayor as well.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you all.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. You guys are. Just leave when I discuss the current offer. Did you meet with the county judge?
Then I tried to track it. We weren't in there.
So I guess we need to tell them where we are.
As it relates, just a quick moment of clarity, as it relates to our involvement with the jail, the county judge is wanting to enter summary judgment for us, and he's wanting us to pay the full fine of $168,000. The municipal league has we've worked with a member from the municipal league to try to get a hold of the judge to see if he would take a payment plan that we can honor monthly. He has not really wanted to engage in that conversation. I have offered to go across the street myself to have that conversation as well. As recently as this past Friday, the judge hasn't been in, so I haven't had a chance to have that sit-down conversation, but that's where we are currently as it relates to our payment and involvement with the jail.
Well, may I add to that?
Hmm?
This is where we are. This $168,000. John Wilkerson, General Counsel of Municipal League, called us with proposed settlement. We offered the county that we'll pay $10,000 a month to pay over the course of 17 months. The county judge rejected it, said no way. Then we offered $20,000 down and $10,000 a month. He rejected that. Then the city offered $30,000 down, $10,000 a month. He rejected that. He told us that we need to pay $50,000 down immediately and pay the balance by June, or else he's going to court and he wants to get a judgment against us, and he doesn't want to talk until he gets a judgment against us and go forward. We had a settlement agreement that specifically says that the city would pay the $168,000 once the hospital sells, but it wasn't, the city didn't cause Progressive to be in the hospital. The city took no action about it, and we didn't cause the deal to fall apart. But the deal fell apart, and this is where we are. But the county judge is screaming, is what Ms. Maliga described. And the general counsel, Ms. Maliga, John, he said he's screaming that he wants a judgment against the city and he's gonna start taking property from the city. And so that's what he wants. And we cannot talk to, because of the lawsuit, the mayor on his own volition said he would try to talk to the city, to the county judge. I can't talk to the county judge. I can't talk to any member of the quorum court because it's litigation and I'm the city attorney. And so attorney can't go talk to him. But the mayor's been unsuccessful in able to meet with him. But that's his posture. He told us to pay $50,000 immediately. And for the record, since the lawsuit has been going on, the city has paid every rental payment, paid every bill and everything. The city's current from the time of the lawsuit forward. That's been over a year. It's been almost 2 years, hasn't it, Ms. Ramsey?
Yes.
And the city's current on that. It's just that past due part. And the jail fee that we're talking about, just for the public's sake, and I'll end here so y'all can go to executive session. Every time a person is arrested for a felony charge, the city is responsible for housing them until they get charged. Typically, that's anywhere from 45 days to 75 days. City pays the county for those fees, and once they're charged, then when I say charged, I mean once criminal information is filed, something filed in the circuit court, then it becomes the county's responsibility. So all these are for felony prisoners that the city arrests, and they have to hold for approximately 75 days, and we pay those fees to the county. And the other option would be if you don't take them there, you have to pay somewhere else. At some point, when the jail was closed, we were paying people all over the state. And then once the jail reopened, we began to pay Phillips County only. But that's how the fees accrued, is the city was paying a whole bunch of people, the jail was closed, and the city kept paying, and we're paying everybody to house prisoners. And that's what we were. But the city has been completely current for the past 24 months, or maybe even further than that. This is just the past due part.
So county judge has the authorization to speak on behalf of the quorum court in that manner and just say what he accepts?
I'm not the county attorney, but I don't think he does.
Okay.
But I haven't seen an agenda where this has been discussed over there.
Yeah.
But we're just telling you all where it is.
Okay.
Because I believe that the
I just have a hard time believing if the quorum court knew we were willing to give them 30,000 down and 10,000 a month, they would not accept that. I just have a hard time. Maybe they wouldn't, but I just have a hard time with it.
I can't talk to them. So I don't know what they have been informed and what they hadn't been informed.
Okay.
And that's why Mr. Wilkerson advised us to talk about it publicly tonight. We have to tell what is going on.
Yes, sir.
And that's just where we are.
Yeah.
I have a duty to tell you offers made, and that we told you what the offer made has been rejected.
Yeah.
And their current offer is $50,000 now.
Yeah.
And he wants $20,000 a month until it's paid, or it's more than $20,000 a month. He wants it paid in full by June 30th.
Okay.
So I think that summarizes everything on that. Now, before you go to executive session for the record, is for the purpose of consideration, the hiring of someone for potential combined jobs of street and sanitation director. It's my understanding from the mayor and the city clerk that the position has already been advertised. It's been advertised according to the city policy book. I just need the affirmation on that publicly.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
And so
is there a motion for,
Going into executive
session?
session, I so moved.
thank you.
there has to be a vote.
Is there a second?
Second.
Madam Clerk, can you call the roll?
Mr. St. Columbia?
Yes.
Mr. Messina?
Yes.
Dr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Etherly?
Yes.
4 yes.
Motion passes.
Everyone has to be excluded except for the mayor, the employee, and the city council.
Clerk, will you call the roll?
Dr. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Etherly,
Yes.
Mr. Messina.
Yes.
Mr. St. Columbia. Four yes.
Motion passes. So as it relates to our executive session, no action has been taken on the matter, and we will table this until our next meeting. So with that being stated, is there a motion to adjourn?
Oh, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute.
Budget.
Yeah.
Oh,
I want to move to extend the 2025 budget until February 1st, 2026.
Okay, so you're appropriating 1/12 of the budget for 2025 through February 1st of 2026.
Yes.
I'll
Thank
second
you.
the motion.
Madam Clerk, will you call the roll?
Mr. St. Columbia.
Yes.
Mr. Messina.
Yes.
Mr. Etherly.
Yes.
Dr. Miller.
Yes.
And then, the base pay ordinance, I'll get with the city attorney about that. I'll tell you what we need.
Okay.
I'll say this in just general language.
Money.
We need a base pay ordinance, and I would say we need one that reflects whatever changes are proposed.
Mhm.
But even if we don't pass that one, we need a clean base pay ordinance that reflects the last valid base pay ordinance, plus the changes that we made since then. We made 2 or 3 changes, and because everybody was hesitant to vote on it, we did one-line ordinances. And so if you were to try to put together base pay right now, you'll have an ordinance, and then you'll have 2 or 3 pieces of paper that you have to put them all together. So what I'm asking him to do is create us a clean one document that has all of those changes that have occurred over the last 2.5 years,
And
so we can see them.
And that's one other thing that consider base pay that you all probably have forgotten about. When Chief Bill asked for pay raises,
Right.
you all said y'all can come back and amend the base pay once they got the 11 officers hired. You're either close to it or you may have satisfied that now. And so I know that Chief Sanders has been talking to me, and he may have been talking to the mayor about updating the base pay, because you all have said you all would update salaries and stuff. But what we try to do is make sure the base pay is one document so that we can see it. For the public's sake, Judge Mueller struck down the one that was passed December 2022. And we're going back to the one before then. And so we just need to clean and make the mayor's adjustments for.
That's the one we're operating under now is August of 2022.
Right, the one in December 2022 was struck down.
Okay.
Right.
That was passed right before you all came on the council.
Right. Okay.
Right, and so the 3 changes that the mayor suggests, the police department changes, and the adjustments for the 3, it's either 2 or 3 base pays that you all passed since then, we need to adjust. Yeah, so I will give a proposed full base pay and show it.
Base pay ordinance is gonna be separate from everything else.
Right, we always do them separate from everyone else, so we'll see. And just for the public's sake and all, you can remember, because base pay, there's a position, and then there's an instrument that pays it. And it's one of those things that it helps for us to be able to understand what position we're talking about. For instance, people call James Valley the chief of staff, but really he was director of public works. He was paid on the base pay from that position. And so those are things that we have to do, is because you're paying by the position.
You'll have that ready for our next council meeting?
Yes, you have to do it before you do the budget. And so I will get with the mayor and the chief of staff and,
Okay.
and the clerk and the treasurer. And, we will look at it so we can propose a base pay that covers those.
Okay, then I move we adjourn if there's no other meeting.
I said.
Uh,
Being adjourned.